I think it's great to have Michael here in Denver, and especially it's great to have the students here like this, and knowing that they have seen Bowling for Columbine and are so engaged in it, because I think it's so important for young people to see this movie, because this is the hope. This is my greatest hope, is having young people see this and think about it, because that's how we're going to make change in the future and how we view guns. I think Bowling for Columbine has done a great job of really opening some eyes about gun violence in the United States.
George Bush, take a look at this crowd. We're not in Berkeley. We're in Denver, Colorado. Oh, I was stunned when I walked through the doors here. I am so honored by this turnout here tonight. I'm just, it's completely overwhelming to come back to Denver in the year after this film came out, and then it's now a couple of years since we spent so much time here in the Littleton area. And so we'll talk a little bit about that tonight, I hope. I was raised in an Irish Catholic family, and I wonder sometimes who this God is that Mr. Bush and Mr. Ashcroft and Mr. Cheney invoke as they attempt to lead us to war, as they attempt to convince the American public that that American dream is still for them. Who is this God that they invoke? Because the one that I was taught about said that we will be judged by how we treat the least among us, right? What happened to that story? Was that not taught in their Sunday school? You know, I was taught that a rich man will have a harder time getting into heaven than a camel will have passing through the eye of a needle. Isn't that in there somewhere? Isn't that story there somewhere? Help me out. Anybody go to Sunday school when they were a kid? Do they think they're just going to get away with this? Do they think that the American people are just going to sit back and take it? I think they do think that, because we did. We did take it for so long. And what better confirmation of that in November of 2000, when they were able to actually steal our White House from us. And we didn't do anything. There was no revolt. The people were not in the streets, although the demonstration on inauguration that day was an incredible, incredible demonstration against the commander and thief. Wasn't that cool that day when Bush's limo, they had to stop the limo on Pennsylvania Avenue because they had all these people throwing eggs, and they didn't know, because he was supposed to take to walk the last 4 blocks like all the presidents do now, and he couldn't make the walk because of the demonstrators, and they had to floor it. They had to hit the gas pedal, and the Secret Service guys couldn't catch up to the limo. That was one of the most incredible things I've seen in my lifetime, that he had to run for cover into the White House. We do need to remove Bush in 2004. There's no doubt about that. How about this? What if everyone in here tonight decided to run for office? What if everyone in here tonight, I'm serious, and I don't mean governor or senator or whatever, but what if you just ran for precinct delegate? What if you just showed up, is this a caucus state or a primary? Caucus state. So what if you just decided you were going to go to your local caucus about a year from now, roughly? Yeah, less than a year, right? What if you went? What if you took 5 people? What if they got so overwhelmed they didn't know what to do? What if this 6,000 in here tonight became 30,000 and just flooded the caucus meetings next year that would send people to the state conventions and then on to the national convention? What would happen if it worked that way? What if we keep working on 2 tracks here? Build a Green Party or any kind of third party, alternative party, anything that represents the true will of the majority of Americans, and at the same time took over the Democratic Party, the lamest excuse for a party that ever existed. I want to say a few words about Columbine, and then we'll open it up for some questions. The day that the tragedy occurred at Columbine High School, I came into work and people were gathered around the TV set watching what was going on, like most of the country was. And the image that really just assaulted me was the one where the kids were all told to put their hands up and all told to line up against the wall with their hands up or their hands behind their heads. In other words, you are all suspect. You are all a potential murderer. You will all come out with your hands up and keep them up. And I just felt that day I had to do something. And I had just had it. I've thought about this issue about what a violent country we are for a long time. I came here to Littleton and spent time talking to a lot of the people in the town, people who went to the high school, and I wanted to do something that was not so much about Columbine, but about the country that Columbine sat in, because I don't really think it is about Columbine. I think this could have happened anywhere, and that's the scary thing. But I wanted to put it into some sort of context. And the nut of that context came when I just happened to ask somebody in Littleton, so who's the largest employer here? And she said, Lockheed Martin. I said, you've got to be kidding me. Lockheed Martin. It's the world's #1 defense contractor, the biggest weapons maker in the world. And I thought, geez, I wonder why nobody ever mentioned that. I mean, there isn't a direct, A to B correlation here. It's, otherwise there'd be a shooting at Columbine every day. That's not the reason Columbine happened. But I began thinking about the larger context of this fabric of our society and all the threads that weave into the fabric of what a violent, violent nation we are toward each other and toward the rest of the world. And just driving around Denver, seeing those pods that are out there on the other side of town, communicating with the Pentagon satellites, going to the Lockheed factory where they build the rockets. Oh, Mike, those are rockets for DirecTV. And what else? Weather satellites. And what else? Private Pentagon payloads we're not allowed to discuss. The parents in Littleton go to work to build rockets that send up into space satellites and telecommunication devices that will allow us to launch the missiles anywhere in the world on Armageddon Day. But just like those of us who come from Flint, Michigan, who build the one thing that will be responsible for melting the polar ice caps and never questioning what that is we're building as we go to work each day. No one ever questions anything. Nobody ever asks about what the larger consequences of all this is. And just driving around this area and seeing the dependency on weapons in the Denver area, from the Air Force bases that this stuff is shipped from, to the Air Force Academy with that B-52 bomber, that bomber that participated in one of the largest bombing campaigns ever, the Christmas bombing of Vietnam in 1972. And they've got a plaque on there proudly proclaiming that this bomber, this B-52, killed thousands upon thousands of Vietnamese, innocent civilians. That's the Denver that we don't discuss. Rocky Flats, NORAD, the missile silos all around the state. That's what we don't want to discuss. What's that got to do with this? It's all part of the same American mentality that says that it's okay to use violence as a means to an end, whether it's in the home or whether it's in Iraq. That has got to stop. That has got to stop, folks. I watched the footage of that day, April 20th of 1999, and I noticed that the police weren't going into the school. And I'm watching tape after tape after tape. SWAT teams hiding behind what looked like some kind of makeshift tanks and fire trucks and whatever, and they don't go into the school. They don't go into the school for how, you guys probably know the exact, how many hours? 3 hours, close to 3 hours before they went in. The two boys who had committed the murders had killed themselves, I think, in the first hour. Is that correct? Yeah. They were already dead. There weren't any gunshots for another 2 hours. And I asked, I didn't put this in the film because I didn't know what to do with this. I didn't know. It's just so painful, and I think the town has been through enough, and they don't need Michael Moore coming and asking these questions. And I asked one of the police officers in Jefferson County, one of the sheriff's deputies, why didn't you go in? There were people there bleeding to death. Well, we were afraid we might be shot. I know. I don't blame you. You're not paid enough as far as I'm concerned, and God bless you for doing this job. But there were people in there dying. These were the children of Littleton. And I talked to some of the people in the Denver SWAT team. They wanted to go in, but Jefferson County said no. The suburban police controlled the day, and they said no. There's a yellow police tape. You see it around the school during these hours. Do not cross. That's what it says. Do not cross. And you see a couple people attempt to cross. There's a brother-in-law, there's an uncle, runs in, there's a guy in the white t-shirt. You've probably seen these images, right? The police tackle him, they drag him back. And you see all these parents just in tears and just in a state of horror, kept behind the little yellow police tape. How do you do that? High alert. Fear. 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 I could be shot. I might be shot. You could be shot. Obey the police. Obey the authorities. Do what you're told. Stand right there. Do not move. Do not move. We will take care of things. We're in charge. I don't know. It's bugged me for a long time. I didn't put it in the movie because it just, who am I? I would have done the same thing, right? I don't want to get shot either. but it's our kids, right? It's our kids. What is that about us as human beings, you know? Why wouldn't hundreds, thousands rush the police line? Why, what, I mean, if it won't happen then, when will it happen? It's like that, because nothing is more primal, right? Nothing is more basic. Those are our kids. Do not cross. Do not cross. And if you do, we're going to beat the shit out of you. So a teacher bled to death. We don't know who else or what else. Well, I decided, I got to make this movie. I got to make this movie. And I've got to try and tie this together. And I've got to point out something that's happening to us as Americans, because it's not just in Littleton, it's over the whole country. We are being lied to by those in authority. We're being told to be afraid of this or that or whatever. And we have got to somehow find the courage. We've got to find the courage to do something here. How long is it going to take? What's it going to take, really? It don't want to be shot. Who does, right? Well, maybe one way to make sure that Columbine never happens again is to everyone in here tonight to call your state legislator in the morning and tell them that you better not touch that gun loophole bill. Do not touch that law. Everyone in here, who will do that tomorrow morning? Who will make a phone call? Who will send an email? Is that all? That's all? Come on. Come on. Don't let them get away with this. And turn off the TV. Turn off the TV, folks. I hate to say it, I love my TV, but you gotta turn it off. You gotta turn it off, because I'm telling you, it's warping the minds of America, this nonstop, high alert, the terrorists are gonna get you. It's 1984, it's about the enemy is everywhere, anywhere. The enemy is gonna kill you. Put your faith in me. I will protect you. I am your leader. We've got to say no to this. We've got to turn it all off, and we've got to get active and involved, and you've got to get 5 other people to do the same thing. It's the only way that's going to turn around. I know I began tonight by talking about all the hope I had, and I am filled with a lot of hope. I'm an optimistic person. I do believe in the basic good in all people. But they're just kind of waiting. Everyone's just kind of waiting for a few people to do something. You could be those few people. You could be those few people. And I hope like hell you are, whether it's with your legislators tomorrow morning, whether it's at the caucuses next year or whatever. I hope that you will do that, because it's, what's our choice? 4 more years of Bush and Cheney? The next war for oil in the former Soviet territories? I don't want to live in that world. And I want us all to draw the connections between Columbine and Iraq and everything else, because these people in charge believe the gun is the answer. And we believe in a different way. And we are the majority in this country. We are the majority.
I just wanted to say thank you to you. I was a member of the Columbine community during the shootings. And there was a long time there when nobody was talking about anything over and above a let's pray to Jesus level. And your movie was very painful for a lot of us to watch, but it did get us talking. And thank you for that. I think we're getting something done now.
Thank you for having me here.
Even at right-wingers, I don't feel like shouting at them. In fact, I'd like to write a book that's essentially my letter to conservatives, asking them to stop and consider a few things, because I think that they They are people who are good at their core, and they've lost their way somewhere. And I'd like to just present a few ideas to them as to why they should think about these issues, because I think they want the same things that I want. I don't think they want to see their children killed. I don't think they want to see a planet that's polluted and air they can't breathe. I don't think conservatives want to see any of these things. I think there's just a disagreement of how to get to where we need to get. Because it may be you tomorrow that's without a job. It may be you tomorrow on that welfare to work bus. It may be you tomorrow standing outside of Columbine High School not knowing if your child is alive or dead. And so, do you want to wait till then, or do you want to do something now? I think everybody would like to do something now. I think they just feel helpless, and they have a sense of despair that if they did anything, nothing would ever change. That is the biggest lie. That's the biggest thing that we've got to get through to people's heads, that actually you can make a difference. Just a few of you can make a big difference.
Fantastic. He was here tonight.
Oh, he's on. Foreign name.
Your name is Andre.
Joe.
Joe?
Average name.
We need more Joes and Andrea.
That's right. That's right.
Have you all met Richard Castaldo here, star of the film? Anybody here? You were the man who brought Kmart down. And he just nod your head. Yeah. Yep, that was me.
No one made a big deal about it till it was in the film. We told people, this is what we did. It's yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny how, and yet once it's up on a 50-foot screen.
You did that?
Then it was important.
I was like, well, I told you we did it 6 months ago.
I know.
Weren't you listening?
Yeah. Like I said, we're on a first-name basis now. Ahmad is easy. Everybody
Well,
knows
but
it.
it's a perversion of the real pronunciation.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yes.
all right. There you go.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay.
It was excellent, and I strongly agree with you. And I was one of those people clapping when you mentioned the Holocaust.
It's from lots of people. Yeah, we were definitely excited to have you here, and the turnout for everything was just incredible. So
They're not going to care about the.
when I'm famous, I'll still go back.
Thanks for bringing me here tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad it was such a good turnout. It was well received.
Oh, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, keep up.
All right, I will. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My name is Devin Adams. I graduated from Columbine High School in 2001. And, sorry.
It's okay.
Your film meant so much.
Thanks for saying that, okay?
And your book. I've worked in gun control, now anti-war. It helps to know there's support out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Seriously, the majority of people in this country, they're sick of this.
Yep.
And it's good that you're involved in doing something with it, It's pretty painful, isn't it?
I wanted to let you know, when you talked about the police officers, my best friend returned to the school 6 times and saved innumerable lives.
Oh, that's so great to hear that.
The kid in the white shirt you were talking about.
The one that the police were after. Oh, really?
Thank you.